All right, guys, welcome. You guys, it's Sunday. Tonight, we are in the Lion's Den with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Tonight, I'm in Arizona, baby. Can you guys believe that? First time NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast has ever been in Arizona, and I'm with a team called Goose Flats Paranormal from Tombstone, the legendary Tombstone, Arizona. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good, Terry. Thanks for having us, man. Like Terry was saying, we are located in the southeast corner. Our county is so bad they actually stuck us in the corner. We're in southeast Arizona in a little city called Tombstone, and I guess our claim to fame is something about a silver mine and a gunfight. So, but
Mm.
yeah, we've been here for about 4 years. So, and we love, and this is my wife Bree. So, and welcome to Arizona, man. Thanks for having us tonight. We appreciate it.
Hey man, appreciate you guys having me, man. I really appreciate it. I tried to get you guys on the show last month, but you guys had a Paracon to go to. Hey man, Paracons are good. They're
Oh,
cool.
Paracons are fun, man. We did our the city of Tombstone actually just we just had our second annual one, and they're hoping to make it a third one. So once we get later on into the show or further on into the show, man, we'll kind of throw a little couple of details, a couple of bones out there for the listeners as to what we do and when we have our Paracons down here.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, man, I am going to go to a quick commercial and I will be right back in 1 minute. Hey, what?
I was in the car that he was driving, right? He wanted me to get off so fast with the park. So I moved to God. And I did perfect. I didn't even know what the damn gear was because it was in that thing. I parked to God. I get out. Bing. Right into that G3 on the car, bro. Now you know what the thing was. You got a little shifter. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what the car. I had to figure that out. I figured out I parked good too. He had messed it up.
Wow.
I saw him. He looked down.
Did he tear it up? Ooh, man. Oh my God. All right, welcome back to the show. Hey guys, this is Terry
Hey,
with
man.
NSPS TV Paranormal. And man, tonight we're in the Lion's Den with Goose Flats Paranormal from Tombstone, Arizona. Tombstone, man, legendary location. One of those places that you really hear about in the history books. Now, if the history books got the story right, I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to find out tonight. And hopefully, these guys can lay the rundown on what actually happened in Tombstone. Is the place really haunted as people say it is? I mean, I hear about all different types of paranormal investigators going out to Tombstone and and investigating the location where this tragedy or gunfight. I don't know if I'm gonna call it a tragedy or a gunfight. I call it a gunfight because that's what it was. See, if it really happened. I mean, if the history books got it right, you know what I'm saying? But hey, all you guys that are streaming live with me tonight, welcome to the show. All you guys on Kick, Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, welcome, man, to the Lion's Den. All right, Brian.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Terry? Well,
Man, hey,
Bree had to step away and feed get some water for the dog because, like we were talking in the intro when we were offline, it is currently 98 degrees at 6:15 at night. We are in our summer, and yeah, Tombstone, Arizona. It would a lot of people consider it a bucket list location as far as investigating goes, and being fortunate being fortunate enough to be based on here.
uh-huh.
Oh, sorry, we got our dog joining us. We got to took him down for a little bit. Get down, dog. So sorry about that.
That's all right.
Um, we are a husband and wife founded team.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with a couple teams here locally the last couple years. Um, Differences in opinion about the direction in which they wanted to go with their investigating teams and what we wanted to do and where we wanted to take it. It just sometimes things don't work out, so we made the decision. Well, we have the contacts, we have the equipment, we know what we're doing. Why not? Let's strike out on our own and kind of see what happens. And we've just blown up and just taken off from there.
Well,
Um,
wow.
crazy journey so far, and it's still going. And we're just getting started.
Well, congratulations, man, on you guys decided that, you want to, break away and do your own thing. And hey, everybody has that right to do so. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah,
what makes this country so special. We got the right to break away paranormal teams if we choose to, but Brian and Bree, uh, this is a podcast show that I don't really ask questions about what kind of equipment you have and stuff like that. So if you guys been on a podcast where people have actually asked you questions like that, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
I, I,
Um,
I'm really sorry, but
it's all good,
uh,
man. It's fun.
this particular podcast, I try to dive into the history of the paranormal,
Yep.
where it's been, where it's going, where it should be.
Right.
I also, throw those what if questions in there, and
Yep.
I just like to pick your minds for a little bit,
That's what we're here for, man.
and
Any
yeah,
questions we can ask, I mean, any questions we can answer, man, far away. We'll do our best.
so
Um,
cool.
we paranormal history in Tombstone. A lot of let's just back up. A lot of the history books are incorrect because there's three versions of history in Tombstone, as they say. There's
Hmm.
what happened. There's what people think happened, and what Hollywood made happen. So, I mean, the gunfight at the OK Corral that was over politics, basically. And we're not going to get into politics, or religion for that matter. But it was more of a political misunderstanding. One side was doing this side, the other side didn't like it, and they came to a
Hmm.
head. And let's solve it, let's solve it in a gunfight, 30-second gunfight, you know. And next thing you know, we've changed the course of American history. And
Wow.
you have the silver mines before that. And town was actually founded in 1877. From 1877 to 1879, it was known as the area was known as Goose Flats. Hence, we chose our name as Goose Flats to represent the history of the town and also our way of paying respect to those who were here and helped build the town before anybody even got here.
Okay, because I really was gonna ask you what was up with that name. Now I know.
Yeah. Well, where's Goose Flats? I never heard of Goose Flats. Well, you're in Goose Flats right now. You're in Tombstone. So
Goose. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
and Town was founded by a gentleman named Ed Shefflin. He
Hmm.
was a scout for out of Camp Huaychuca down about 18 miles south of us, and he go out working with the Cab Scouts, and this was all Apache land. And Ed had a curiosity and penchant for being able to study rocks. Well, Ed found a silver vein, 50 foot long by about 8 inches wide. That was the first one he found. So when scouts were telling him, Ed, you're crazy. The only thing you're going to find out in that desert is your tombstone. That's how we became from Goose Flats, Arizona territory to Tombstone.
Interesting. I mean, that's a. I mean, I don't even think I learned that in the history books.
And you won't. You won't.
You know.
A lot of the written history in Tombstone is a lot of it has been lost to time, unfortunately. And our goals as investigators, based, being in Tombstone, is we want to respect the location. We want to make
Hmm.
sure that the stories and that the history of those that went before and any potential spirits that we may encounter, that their story and their history is not forgotten.
Right.
Because
Right.
it's so important for the younger generations to learn about stuff like you just said. This is stuff that you're not going to learn in town. I mean, in school.
Right. Uh, Miss Harris, I am so sorry. Normally, when I have a young lady that's on the show, I normally show my respect and ask her what's her favorite color. So, ma'am, what is your favorite color?
Teal.
What color is it?
Teal.
Let me get my gun real quick.
Oh, right. That was teal. Teal.
Teal?
Yes.
It's like teal green?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna figure this out for you right quick. Now I don't know if I can actually get that particular color, but I'm gonna throw some colors on the board, and you tell me what color you like, and we will go with that one. Okay.
Okay.
Besides blue is kind of dull to me. So
That's a fun color.
That's a fluorescent green. We actually have a T-shirt with that color font.
or do you want to go that kind of green, or that kind of green, or let's see here, or that kind of green, or we can go, let's see here, that kind of green. It's totally up to you, buddy, on what type of green that you would
Uh,
like
we're
to
gonna,
have.
We like the first one.
we'll let Bree pick that one. Let's go with the fluorescent green because, like I said, that's one of our font colors for one of our T-shirt run that we did a couple months ago.
So that one there, or you want,
That's the one.
or that one there,
That one there.
or that one there, or that. Let's see
Number
here.
one or number two? Which one's better?
I
Okay,
don't.
now it's better.
Number two, my lord.
Number one. What's number two? Which is better? Which one can you see better? Number one, number two. Sorry.
Well, let's see here. We're gonna go with that one. How about that
That'll
one?
work. That'll work.
Brian, it is not your call.
Well, I know better than that. I'm just sitting here. Peanut gallery, Jerry. Peanut gallery.
How about that one? I'm just trying to get this right.
Step away from the keyboard.
Oh, I didn't went completely yellow now.
No, it's green on our end.
I'm trying to get this right.
That's it right there. Whatever that is.
All right, how about that green, my friend?
Perfect, man. That'll work, brother. Thank you.
Wow. Hey, I tried to give it to you, Bree.
It's all good.
I tried to give it to you. Okay. Tombstone, Arizona. Like you said, Brian, over a 30-second fight. Now, the biggest question that I have for you is that makes 30-second fight. Now, is there anything else going on in Tombstone that it has some kind of tragic and that would make paranormal investigators come? Because I really don't see me driving 800 miles for something that happened so long ago, 30 seconds. I mean,
You
I
also
don't know.
you also have the mining history. Under Tombstone, there's there were over 1,000 mining claims were filed in the city or up in the in the territory at the time. Um, out of out of those 1,000 claims, the hills actually you can actually see from our house where we're at. There were 27 mines operating in the hills of Tombstone 24/7. Well, you throw into that mix, you're going to have mining accidents, you're going to have explosions, you're going to have cave-ins. All right, silver's going to bring money. Tombstone was the second largest city between St. Louis and San Francisco when we first became an actual when we were, first became Tombstone. Population was probably about, well, they say 12,000. But back then, if you were not a white male over the age of 18, you were not counted as a resident. So the resident numbers were probably up to 25, maybe 35,000 people. Um, Downtown stretched for east west about 12, actually about 14 blocks, and north south for about 6 blocks. Then you throw in the saloons, you throw in the gambling, you throw in the random, all right, let's get drunk and let's, you know what, I'm going to accuse you of cheating. I'm going to pull out a 22, or I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to pull out a knife and I'm going to stab you at the card table. Not like, no, it's not like the old West where it was the showdown at high noon. You know what, let me check my calendar. I'll be there, 11:58. Don't be late.
Mm.
It was more of a 22 caliber or 22 or 38 smaller caliber pistol up close and personal, inside a saloon somewhere, either over gambling, drinking, and or females.
Mm. Now, besides besides of course, Tombstone and the people that got shot there, is there any other famous people that was there that you know met their timely death in Tombstone? You know,
There you
Well,
besides the obvious
go.
individuals.
Short.
right there. Um, besides the gunfighters, there's also we had the Apaches. So you had Cochise, you had Geronimo. Cochise's burial is unknown. All we know is he's in the dragoons. Um, so I think that also plays with it. And then depending on what you believe in, there's what they call the Cochise curse. And we believe that this town either accepts you or it doesn't. We get people that will move here eager to live here, and then things just don't work out for them. And then there's some of us that
They're gone within 6 months.
right.
The town has a tendency to chew people up and spit people out because, like I said, I mean, you've got the clans and the McClarys. Then you got, then you have Morgan Earp, who was assassinated here in town. Let's say, you've got, Luke Short was killed. Who else was? Luke Short was killed on Fifth and Fremont.
Billy Storm.
Yeah, Billy Storms. Billy Storms was shot here. So you have some pretty notorious gunfighters that were actually, Frank Lacey was killed. Yeah, Frank Lacey was. He was killed here. So you have about 8 or 10 infamous people that are known in history that actually met their end in town.
Oh, interesting. Now, knowing the history of the town, how does all these paranormal investigators come in? How does that change the way people think about the town? Do they like it or do they don't like it because everybody's coming into town to investigate the town, to check the town out? They want to approve or disapprove of this and that. What does the community think about Tombstone, Arizona?
Right. So with the community, it's kind of a running joke. There's a lot of people here who don't believe anything's happening, but I had this happen to me.
Yeah, I don't believe in the paranormal, but I had this happen. Well, I'm saying, it's we are approached by so many of our friends, and I mean, people, or even, I mean, people we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we understand you guys are in the paranormal. Um, I have, I don't believe in it, but I had this happen at my house, or I had, my pet Fluffy or my pet dog Fido sitting there, looking up in the corner at something, but I can't figure it out. Or
Said
I've got
Fluffy.
cabinets opening and closing for no reason. I've got my lights turning on and off and things like that. And one of our more active locations, which we actually, there's so much activity that we captured every time we've gone back. I mean, we've gone there. Um, we really don't. It's not really a go-to, but there's so much different activity going at this location. Like I said, lights turning on, stereo system, radio stations, and being changed on, on the stereo at the house, lights on, and just all kinds of weird stuff. And I said, people come to us, so it's a hit or miss, really, on people's perceptions of the paranormal here in
Mm-hmm.
town.
Wow. Okay. Now, when paranormal investigators come to your town,
Uh huh.
do they reach out to you and ask you for advice and certain things? How do you react to them when they come to your town? Because I know certain teams are really picky and they really care about who comes to their town and so on and so on. So how do you feel about, since you are home based there? How do you feel about other teams coming to your town and so on and so on?
We do have people that have reached out to us. And 99% of the time, we're like, hey, we'll come out with you, we'll be collaborate. When you investigate in your town, there's different precautions you have to take. One, we do have to expect this was native land. There was a lot of bloodshed when it came to the Apache amongst themselves and when this land was trying to be taken over. Um, so there's a whole different respect there.
Mm-hmm.
But we get people, I mean, we can't, there's ghost tours here, there's walks, there's the infamous bird cage. And
But that's all about the dollars. So that's all
right,
about this. I mean,
that's our biggest role, and it's nothing against anyone who does this. We don't play, or we don't pay to play. If
Mm-hmm.
people are serious and they want us, our kind of little niche is a lot of private residences because we're not, um, we do everything live, or when we do our investigations, I'm usually popping those videos out within 24 hours. There's
Oh
no
wow.
editing. There's no, there's times you see me falling. I'm usually the camera person,
yeah,
so.
there's a lot of pushback on that in the, I guess, I would say the newer generation of the paranormal fields. I mean, I follow a couple of several several of the other paranormal teams pages, and their beliefs is, I mean, I read something the other day, and it went along the lines of private residence. You should never go live, or never post any evidence you may capture at a private residence for,
Mm-hmm.
for privacy reasons. Our clients, they're okay with that. We have release of liabilities and everything like that. We let them know, we're a consulting agency. We're here to get to the bottom of anything unexplained that someone might be having at their residence or their place of business.
Okay,
You know,
cool.
like Bree just said, as the birdcage are going on tours and like that. The tours are okay. A lot of the stuff on the tours, it's all sensationalized. Birdcage theater, a majority of the stuff that actually people are saying, or in history, or oral and written history, that they say happened at the Birdcage Theater didn't actually happen at the Birdcage Theater at all. Well, there's a spirit of this, there's a spirit of that, and there's a spirit of a lady in white or a lady in red. I think every haunted town has a lady in white, or a lady in red. You know,
Green,
yeah,
orange,
right.
yellow.
But she's a fluorescent green, sorry, teal. Um, It's just it's all about, they try and sensationalize it for the tourists. But as far as other teams coming into our town, um, like Bree said, respect the spirits that are here, because this is we you cannot be a cookie cutter investigating team here in Tombstone, or when you come to
Hmm.
Tombstone, because it doesn't work. The spirits that we've encountered, and any spirits that come in. Hang on a second. So,
Um, and a lot of times, the spirits will let you know. You've had people who thought they'd be funny and do things, and then they come to us like, "Hey, this happened.
I
Now what
need
do
your
I
help.
do? I need your help."
I
And
need your
it's
help.
like,
Hmm.
there's nothing we can do. You got to close.
Get it.
If you open things up, that's on you. And that's just anywhere you go.
Right.
Um, and it's unfortunate. There's certain TV shows that people got to remember they're doing it for the money. They have to get their captures. They have to get because that's what pays the bills.
Hmm.
For us, this is what we call our hobby job. Hey, people want to donate to us. Awesome. That goes towards our equipment and our travel.
Pays for snacks.
Pays for pays for my Reese's Pieces.
Pays for investigation snacks. That's
Yes.
All right.
But and that's one thing we don't do anything for monetary means. And we, like I said, we don't edit anything. Everything goes straight out
Hmm.
because we want you guys to capture it for us. We don't have a team. It's us two. That and we rely on our viewers to tell us, hey, I saw this at this point. I saw this. So we try to make it interactive in that way.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Brian, you brought something up literally 2 minutes ago, and I want to talk to you guys about this because it's becoming a big problem within the paranormal, community.
yeah.
You mentioned new generation.
Yes.
Now, the question that I have for you guys is who's training these new generation of paranormal investigators?
TV shows.
Now, the TV, yeah, you're absolutely right. All the
TV
TV.
shows.
Now,
It's TV shows.
is it I mean, it's not cool for them to go by TV shows when the TV shows aren't doing it right.
No,
You
it's
know,
not.
and with them, and what's really crazy is these new generation of paranormal investigators, they're going down a rabbit hole and they're not going to be able to climb their way back up.
No.
So what do we need to do to control this so these guys can learn right and we won't have a generation of paranormal investigators lost.
Well, going back to the Wild West Paracon that was actually put on by the city of Tombstone. They approached us, and we are really good. We're actually really good friends with the head of or the marketing director for the city of Tombstone. Really good friend of ours. He approached us with this idea, well, about the Paracon. When we did the first one last year, and he they asked us if we would be interested in hosting an all ages ghost hunt 101 clinic for kids.
Hmm. Interesting.
We were the first team in the history in the United States, in the history of paranormal conventions, to ever host that or ever host such a clinic. It's showing them how to communicate with spirits respectfully, how to use the equipment properly, how to protect yourself as an investigator when you start an investigation, when you close an investigation, how to be respectful, and that so we don't lose that. We want to train the younger generation the right way. Like I said, we did it last year, and I mean, like we did it this year, did it last year, and we have got great reviews from families. oh my God, you know what? That was the best thing at the Paracon. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you for doing it. You gave us a little, you gave us a little bit better understanding as to how the inside of, you know, paranormal investigating works.
Now, okay. Now, it that sounds great, Brian, but easier said than done.
Oh, very,
Now,
oh, yeah, yeah. Easy said, very, very easy said than done.
Now, the thing is, we have our backs against the wall already because this young generation is going by Hollywood's rules. They're not going by our rules. They're going by the way Hollywood is doing it instead of actually learning the process, understanding, and and want to be able to evaluate the whole situation as a whole when you're
Yeah.
investigating. Now,
I'm
the
gonna try. I'm probably gonna take people. I'm probably gonna, you know, I'll be nice. I'm probably gonna piss off a lot of people by saying this. The younger generation, the younger or the newer generation of paranormal investigators that are coming out. I mean, if you do it wrong, you know what? It's any idiot with a K2 and a REM pod can, try and attempt to do what we do, but
Mhm.
they're going to end up hurting themselves, or they're going to end up causing a bad situation as far as any paranormal responses that even Bree said, you know what, if you do something like that, you know what, I'm no offense, you deserve it. Because there are right and wrong ways to do. It's like right way to wrong, right and wrong way to do anything. I mean, hell, I wouldn't go in a car if I wouldn't go try and start a car if I didn't didn't know how to put it in drive and go.
Right?
But, and like I said, if I piss people off, I'm sorry. I'm being blunt. I'm being honest. We if and any of you guys that are listening on the streams right now, word of advice from me is I mean, I've been investigating for God, over 20 years. I've been doing this. Couple of instances, and that was something that I had no control over the situation on how that turned out. But in the 4 years that we've been down in Tombstone, I've never had issues, man. Protect yourself.
Mhm.
Be smart. Just because you see what you see on television, just because you see what you see in movies, don't go out there and do it yourself, man. You guys are only going to cause yourself more problems.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Now,
That's my little PSA for anybody, for the listeners out there.
the biggest problem is today is with the generation between the ages that are coming up between the ages of 18 to 25 is they think the world owes them something.
Huh.
So when they think that the world owes them something, uh, because we don't, you got to get out there and get your hustle on like everybody
Not a
else.
damn thing, right?
We don't
Exactly.
owe you nothing. So when they think like that, they lose a sense of respect for individuals.
Yeah.
So how in the and Sunday, so I'm trying not to cuss. Forgive me. How in the hell can they come into a location and respect someone that can really put harm to them when they can't even respect their mother, their father, or their grandfather? How in the hell can they do that?
You can't fix stupid. You just, I mean, even with a big enough hammer, you can't fix stupid.
You
And
can't.
it's inexperienced, like inexperienced investigators. I mean, I could really give a rat's ass how many followers we have on Facebook. I could care less how many likes I get on a certain post, or how many people did this, or how many people did this. I mean, all right, yeah, right now I mean, we could monetize the content on our page,
Hmm.
on our Facebook page, but I refuse to, because it's not about the money. It's
Right.
about doing it the right way and trying to help people out in situations. We've had teams come to us before. You know what? Hey, we've seen how you guys do marketing. You guys have, who does your marketing for you? I'm like, it was just us, but now we actually have a brand and marketing director.
Hmm.
We've worked with some very large, well-known paranormal teams from like, who is it? Yeah, we worked with we had the guys from Taps come out, or Taps West Coast came out. We investigated with Lauren and Jerry from Taps West Coast. Um, We have another really, really good friend. One of the, in fact, I believe one of the only Native American founded paranormal teams in the country. Gentleman named Hero from Unearthing the Supernatural. We've collaborated them with them on, I mean, with UTS on a bunch of different projects and bunch of different investigations. But hey, these are people that are well known in our industry. But
Mm-hmm.
it's all about staying humble and it's all about doing it the right way.
Right.
We're talking, here at UTS, um, he'll do Native American blessings and prayers before we start and after we finish at a location. It's always about being respectful, but the young kids, like you said, they're owed something. They saw something on television that they think is cool. That they're gonna try it. Like I said, they're gonna pop on Amazon and get themselves a K2 and a REM pod. Next thing you know, the poor kids, the poor families experience on all this negative paranormal activity just because they got 500 likes on a single photo. It's
Mm.
just, and you're right. I don't think there's any way around it. And our back goes up against the wall as far as investigators go.
Now, do you think that these new generation of paranormal investigators are they the biggest threat to us as far as our legacy, what we've accomplished, what we've tried to do? Are they the biggest threat to bring all this tumbling down?
Well, Jenny, what do you think on that one?
I think yes and no. I think for us, in general, all of us who the currency are the biggest way we could fight this is education, education. Um, if you got people, because we worked with teams, and this was one of the reasons why we split from one was people were asking, "I'm interested. How do I do this?" And they were like, "Oh, we don't take people with us. No, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
Now, there's certain people when they get a little too eager for like, there's certain places, this isn't the place to take them to.
Yeah, let's take you to the cemetery and let you hang out with us.
But it's but we never deny someone. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that just goes to we want to educate them, and that's the best way. And even in our videos, you'll never see us antagonize. We may use us our dog. um, Now I kind of lost my train of thought, but just taking people out. If they come to you, at least that's a start
Mm-hmm.
because they're coming to you as seeing you as the professional in a way. Not that
Professional. There's no such thing as a professional.
right, but to them, that's how they experience.
Mm-hmm.
Professional.
Because for me, I had abilities since I was little, but I didn't understand them, and no one helped me. So I had negative stuff happen, and I just completely shut myself down. So now I'm learning how to reopen to those in a safer way. And again, that's on us. We need to educate, help out when we can, and you can't save them all.
Right.
And like
Yeah, definitely. Now, how do you got? I mean, is social media is that helping us or is that hurting us? Now, I know social media we can actually get what we need to get out into the world,
Yes.
and we're able to share that, with the world. But is it hurting us also?
There's so many people that argue, sit behind a keyboard and argue on social media. I mean, like I said, some of the paranormal groups that I've seen are, that I belong to or pages, I'm just like, you guys are like cats and dogs, man. We're all in the same industry. But I am starting to see an uptick in a trend of what we're calling paranormal or para unity or paranormal unity, where what the smaller teams that no one knows about. Let's get the word out about these guys. Hey, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? We'll go check these guys out. And we'll check out. And we'll do our we'll do our due diligence as far as like any of their social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that. I'll sit there. I mean, I'll sit there and I'll go through and hey, you know what? Hey, these guys are either a legit or it's what somebody saw what guy from who shall remain unnamed in our industry that they see what he does and they want to emulate him because oh my god he's famous, he's on TV. and they want to be on TV. But if it's a legit team, you know what? Hey, these guys are a smaller team. You know what? Let's get the name out there. You know, let's spread the word out about these guys. You know what? They're starting to get in. They're new to the industry. Let's help them out as much
Mhm.
as we can. And
Now, yeah, no, go ahead, finish.
and when we started, we nobody knew who we are. You know, and getting us, I mean, getting to where we're at now. When we rebranded a year and a half ago, actually, oh, almost to the day we completely rebranded. We started from the ground up. Nobody knew who we are. To look at where we're, I mean, to, you know, to doing podcasts, to being in Paracons, you know, to working with larger teams, you know, and so many more opportunities that we've got on the pipeline that you know that Bray and I are working on right now. We didn't have that when we started, you
Yeah.
know. So let's get the name out there. Like I said, I mean, if the newer teams they want to do it, they want to do it right. You know what? I wish anybody who wants to, you know, do what we do, or as far as investigating, I wish them the best of luck. But it is a hard journey. You're gonna get this. You're gonna have negative feedback. You're gonna have your haters. I mean, it's just it is what it is. But you know, if they want to do it, like as long as they do it right, man, you know, that's all that matters to me.
Okay, I agree with you on that. Now, guys, is it easy to say that? Because, like you're saying, there's a million paranormal teams out there. Now, is it easy to say if you had that one particular word on the end of your name, it hurts you? Because I've heard a lot of teams that are changing their names because of this. Yeah, okay, let's say for an example, Goose Flats Paranormal. Uh, Instead of having investigators, you have ghost hunters. Ghost hunters have a tendency. That name have a tendency to hurt.
Yes,
Uh, so what do you guys think about that?
there's a negative connotation. All right, people hear haunted, they hear ghost. You know, it's oh my god. All right, then I think it might tie in with or possibly tie in with people's own mortality. You know, it's oh my god, it's spooky, it's the unknown. You know, you have a guy, let's say you have a good religious upbringing. Okay, we don't talk about ghosts, we don't talk about haunted, we don't talk about those things that we were raised to not talk about when we were growing up because oh my god, it's the same concept as talking about the boogeyman. All right, the boogeyman. All right, if you don't talk about him, he doesn't exist. You know, but like I said, having ghost hunters or um you know, and everyone's. I mean, it's like you know, but even chasing the paranormal. But if we were just Goose Flats, nobody would know who we were.
Hmm.
Say, hey, yeah, we're trying to breed for Goose Flats. Okay, well, what do you do? Well, we're all right. We're listed as a consulting agency.
Well, you know, when I see the word Goose Flats, there's a Goose Flats beer here in Austin.
Oh, okay.
So you know, so when I first seen that, I'm like, man, these guys actually they're paranormal investigators and they're also goddamn got a brewery. I mean, they're actually brewing beer. What the hell?
No, like I said, it was just. I mean, it's just. You know, it's. I mean, we were with another team. You know, and they were. It was another veteran founded team, and you know, they had the word patriot in their. You know, they had their word patriot in their title, or in the team name, and it's okay. Well, this guy's this gentleman's biggest thing was hi Shadow. This gentleman's biggest thing was it was all about social media because if you type in the hashtag Patriot on Instagram or sorry on any social media platform, you're gonna get tagged every single time somebody puts in a certain hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
Your business is going to show up. You know, oh yes, well you know I'm a veteran, you know, so well yeah, all right, yeah, so am I, but you know I'm also not out there touting the fact that you know it's you know U.S. Navy Paranormal or anything like that, or it's just I mean names can either hurt, they can hurt your business or they can help your business incredibly. You know, and picking the right one, like you said, having the right or wrong one is going to make a world of difference as an investigator.
Right, right. You know, we were just talking about social media
Mhm.
literally a couple of seconds ago, you know, and
Yep.
how social media either can get you out or get you in. It really depends on what platform that you're working with.
Yeah.
You know, I just got to bring up the newest one, TikTok. How do you guys feel about TikTok?
We don't do
Not a big fan of TikTok. It's just, I mean, it's not something I do. It's not something. I mean, that's something that I don't want to get into. I just, uh, our target audience. I've seen. I mean, I've seen the numbers from even. I mean, from I've seen the numbers from just from Facebook alone. Our
Hmm.
target audiences are in their 30s to 60s. I mean, and that's not our target, but our that's the demographic of the people that are following us on social media. They're
Right.
from 20 up till like 65. And I don't think Granny's sitting there on Sunday or Saturday afternoon checking out TikTok, looking up paranormal. It's just it's not a social media platform that suits the needs of the business at this time. So
Hmm.
it's hard enough to run. I mean, it's hard enough to run right now. Bree and I run Facebook. I run Instagram, and we combine it. We both maintain our YouTube channel as well. So between YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, it's just the two of us plus with our full time jobs. It's not something we have time for right
Right. Okay. Cool. Now, you know, our podcast every weekend. I've talked to hundreds of paranormal investigators.
now.
They've come on the show and we've had the same discussion.
Yeah.
And some of them feel like the guys that are on YouTube, the paranormal investigators that are YouTube, only YouTube, they don't do anything other social media than YouTube. You know, they say that these guys are hurting us. Do you believe that?
Oh, YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're. I don't know about that one. What do you think? That's a good question.
I think it depends. Um,
But there's also a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can actually fake, that you can make up.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
no, but I mean, and I feel like I know there's some people who go with footage and slice and dice it, and that's great. That's your purpose. If you have the time for it, that's awesome. But like I said before, like Brian just said, we both have full time jobs on top of everything else that we do. We leave it out for our audience to see the evidence. Um, as far as like Facebook and Instagram, we can't put. Sometimes I kind of mix it up. I sometimes do 5 minute videos. Sometimes there's 15. Sometimes if it's constant, I have 30 to 40 minute videos.
Hmm.
I usually try average attention span on a video. I read it. I mean, I saw the number. I read the numbers on the study that was done. Um, if you don't keep people's attention within like the first 5 minutes, they're gonna click next video. They're not gonna sit there and do that. But we did Global Ghost Hunt last year, 28 teams internationally. We went live. We went live for 2 hours straight.
And we
Yeah.
just got activity for that 2 hours.
And it just went off and off and off, and it was just. I mean, I have people that's like, oh, "I've seen your video, that was amazing," and they go, they're like, "Holy crap! I didn't realize by the time I finished it, I'd watched." I was basically sitting there. It was like like we were watching a movie. Next thing I know, we were 2 hours gone in the blink of an eye. But the majority of our videos, like Bree said, 25, 30 minutes. Excuse me, 40 minutes. Because there's times where we'll sit there, do call and response sessions or anything like that, and we won't get a thing as far as any like shred of evidence. All you hear is, sitting in the dark trying to talk to me, trying to talk to spirits, and hopefully they'll talk back to you through a broken radio type thing. It's just. I mean, but then again, there's places we've done here in town that are ridiculously active from the word go, even as we're setting up our equipment. Or we haven't even completed our equipment setup yet. And next thing you know, all right, let's say we're down in the basement, or we're sitting down, or we're going to go investigate in the basement, and we're outside talking before we even actually start the investigation. No one was in the house where we're investigating at the time, and we got REM pods going off. We've got all kinds of stuff going off, and we weren't even in the house yet. So
Mm.
it all depends on the location where we're investigating as to whether or not, based on the length of the videos that we put out.
Okay, cool. How do you guys? I mean, when I think about these guys, I really can't call them paranormal investigators, but a lot of people do jump on these guys' back and ride the train with them because they are able to get in, not get in. I mean, they are able to find certain locations that investigators, paranormal investigators, would like to investigate. How do you guys feel about urban explorers?
Any property, a lot of property here in Tombstone, a lot of land around here actually belongs to the Bureau of Land Management. There's even places that are there was a place that a friend and I had I had the opportunity to go there, and this is before we even started doing. I work with any team,
Hmm.
and word got out that through Urban Explorers that this place had paranormal activity, and next thing you know, they're going out there, and BLM actually ended up putting a big big padlock and a big chain on this fence, to prevent people from going in. You're always going to get people that, all right, it's the urban explorers. Ooh, it says no trespassing, or okay, what's behind door number one? Let's see if we can get it, and that's to them, or to me, that's them getting a thrill. It's
Hmm.
the thrill of going somewhere or being able or to investigate somewhere that I'm not supposed to be here. It's super haunted. But a lot of those places are closed off for. I'm sorry, sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Let's try to find it. A live show. A lot of those places are closed off to prevent somebody from being injured. Tombstone, we've got over 100 and what? How many miles of tunnels do we have? Did they say all told? Over a couple of probably over a couple hundred as far as if you go the length and the depth of tunnels. There are close to probably I think it's like 200 or yeah, close to 200 miles of honeycomb tunnels underneath where they were mining. You go on the hills and it even says on the Bureau of Lands Management website, or you type in abandoned mines or open mine shafts in Cochise County, and there are so many that the state and the Bureau of Land Management cannot keep up with all of the actual locations of these open mine shafts. You go urban exploring out here in Tombstone, you're going to end up 500 feet minimum. You're talking straight down, and no one will find you.
Mm.
It's just so urban exploring. If it says don't trespass, guys, don't go out there. It's not worth anybody getting hurt, and it makes us look bad because it's just for a thrill. It's just to say, oh, look at me, look what I can do, look what I can do.
Wow. When I think of Arizona, of course I think of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
But there is another place that lot of history, but a lot of people don't talk about. And I've noticed this place, and I can tell you this place goes back for thousands of years, if not more. And I learned about it by watching. I might be, I'm a little bit older than you guys.
I
Back when I was watching Looney Tune cartoons back in the
watched them too, man.
80s. No, you didn't. Hell, you weren't even born yet. You were born in '92.
I watched Looney Tunes, man. I watched Looney Tunes. She didn't, but I did.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Superstitious Mountains.
yeah, yeah. Apache Junction. We actually used to live out there. It's a legend. It's a legend of the Lost Dutchman.
Now, tell me a little history about that place because it doesn't speak much in the history books. You don't
I
hear much
I
about that at
believe
all.
I believe I haven't read up a lot on it. I think it was Vault, wasn't it? What was his name? Um, he was um, he was actually he wasn't a Dutchman. He was German. But they when he came to Arizona to work, I forget or actually never really read up on him. But what I do know is they heard his German accent and they thought he was from the Netherlands, so they called him the Dutchman. That was his nickname in the mining camps. Well, apparently this loss. Apparently, he found a massive gold strike out in the Superstitions. And if you look at if you Google a picture of Superstition Mountains, that only shows you the front part.
Hmm.
They extend for miles. And yeah, I mean, everyone's seen this. There was a TV series on it, The Legend of the Lost Dutchman. Only like 6 or 7 episodes, and a lot of those guys, a lot of the stuff that they go out there. And once again, that was native land as well. So you have the native land. You have the curse of the natives, it being native land. Okay, you've got the white man coming in and stealing natural resources, gold, whatever. You know, and um, they said when he died, it still hasn't been found to this day. But I mean, there are the adventure seekers, the looky loos, and the ones that want to be the ones to strike it rich and put their names in the history books as finding the lost Dutchman's gold. And so many deaths have gone out there. Like I said, people in a fall. You take one wrong step, or you get. Let's say you get an animal. Hypothetically, you're walking down the canyon. You have animal above you steps on a dislodges a rock. You've got to 15, 20 pound boulder that's going to come screaming down about 200, 300 feet and hit you on the head, or
Clock.
you're going to misstep somewhere, or you know what, you're going to get stuck, or you get injured out there or something like that. I mean, you get tagged by a rattlesnake out in the Dutchman's, you're screwed. You get stung by you
Mm.
get stung by a scorpion if you're allergic. You know what, you're screwed.
Now,
So
is that place? Does it has a historical marker on it?
no, no, no. It's what the where his gold's at? No, nobody to this day. No one knows where it's at. No one's ever found it.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the
superstition?
location of the mountain itself.
Yeah, there's actually no, there's no historical marker on it. No, no. It's just everybody knows it as everybody or anybody who lives out there, or even or out in that area. Um, East Mesa, Apache Junction, Globe, even Superior actually. Anybody who lives out in that particular part of Arizona, you mentioned the superstition. All you have to say is where are you going? I'm going to the superstition. Don't even call it Superstition Mountains, or it's the Legend of the Lost Dutchman, and people automatically know where you're speaking of because of because of the weird unexplained things that happen out there.
Mm. Do now is that on Native American land?
Yeah.
Is it on the reservation?
I don't believe so. No,
Wow,
yeah, it is public land actually.
public land. Now, is there any Native American reservations in Arizona that you guys might be aware of?
Salt River, Gila. Sorry about Res. Salt, Gila River, Salt River, Sackatoon. I don't think Navajo's in. Yeah, into Utah. Navajo. So probably about maybe a handful of tribes that have residents in town in the state.
Mm. Now, and I always ask this question: have you ever came across, Native American individuals you've actually sat down and actually had a conversation with about, the the paranormal, certain spirits, uh, and how do they feel about you guys and what you do? If you ever communicated with them, or
I'm gonna
sit down and have a talk.
Bree just tapped me on my knee because she knows where I'm going with this. I'm gonna let you have this one.
If she want to, Bree, if you want to speak a little bit over to in the mic because you're actually.
I'll tell you what. Let's see.
Let's see if this helps.
I need to change mics real quick, sir. So I'm gonna go to settings real quick, if y'all don't mind. During a live, a lot easier.
Oh, I lost you.
Terry, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, hang on.
I'll put a headset.
Oh, that's perfect.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I'll go a little bit closer there. That better. A little closer.
Right on my face.
Right.
No, so like we mentioned, we have a friend, our friend Hero, and we've collaborated with him on several things. And it's just a unique way how he investigates because he's a trained medicine man. But we even have friends here in town that are native, and they kind of give us little hints. But hey, be respectful, be careful. And a lot of times they'll tell us, hey, go check this out, but here's your precautions. This is what you need to do to be careful.
Take this with you and stuff like that.
You know.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I know, right? But it's one of those things. They approach it differently, and with their spiritualism, you know, it's different, and each tribe does it different as well.
Mm-hmm.
We actually do have friends that are here in town that are Apache, who have given us insight, but they won't do the investigations themselves.
Ah.
Yes. So, and then sometimes they advise us, hey, I just wouldn't do that. You know, this isn't a good place to be.
But then you start talking about walkers and shapeshifters and
Right.
shadow figures and yeah.
You know, that's another big question because I've actually had a 20-minute debate over, you know, this whole skinwalker situation. It seems like it's an epidemic right now.
Very, very, very serious subject within the native. I mean, especially within the Navajo tribe or any native tribe for that matter.
You know, yeah.
Skinwalker, it's they are so feared in Native American culture, and this is what, like I said, this is what you know. This is information and experiences that we've had in conversations, like even Bree said, you know, with our friends who are Native. That it's not something that is you can't even say their name. They have a nickname for them. They are called they call them coyotes. Skinwalker can pretty much, like I said, it can take this shape, or Skinwalker shapeshifter, take the form of anything, any animal, human, deceased relative or anything like that, and they are so not really scared of, but there's that much respect and they hold that much power spiritually in the Native American belief system that that's like don't even talk about them. But Bree and I actually did we actually went out with this. We weren't even investigating. We went to a friend's house, and they live probably about 3-4 miles out in the desert. We're out there, and they even told us, they go, don't go outside at night after a certain time. So why? I go, well, there's some stuff out in the desert that we can't explain. And I'm like, okay. And Bree and I experienced, some really, really creepy stuff. And when we're at their house at night, to this day, I can't explain it. And we go out to the Dragoon Mountain, or Dragoon Mountains are right behind us. It's about 6 miles, probably about 6 or 7 miles from where we're at to the base of the Dragoons, where Bree said that was Cochise Stronghold. And actually, that's where he's buried, or that's where he's buried. Believed to be buried. there's not a lot of locations that scare me or give me the creeps. There's not a lot of places where I won't go. If it's creepy, I'm going. If it's something that, oh my God, you know what? I mean, here's the steel. I mean, here's an iron grate to a mine shaft that drops down 700 feet, and I'm the one that's got to go stand on it and test it. Um, the dragoons scare me because of what's out there. Because what Brie and I have personally experienced out there when we've had friends, we've taken friends out there. They've been drinking, they've been partying, having a bonfire. But I will not go into the dragoons at night or when the sun goes down. And we're even we're even warned by we're even warned by like I said, Bruce. I mean, our native friends they say no, the dragoons. They go, do not go out there after dark. They go, that is native land, and the spirits that are there
Excuse
will
me.
protect it, and they will protect it violently if necessary. So yeah, I mean, and a lot of people write that off to urban legend, but based on the information that we've been given and our personal experiences out there, yeah, I'm more apt to believe them as far as that goes.
Interesting. A lot of people are big skeptics about skinwalkers. Because they're really not much about them in American history. There's really not,
Nope.
and whatever the Native American history is, they're not even mentioned.
Yes,
Like you said,
and that's and I believe that. I mean, I believe that is like so that is because the fact that they are so not really scared of, but they are considered such an evil entity. But like I said, even our friend Hero, he won't even call them by as skinwalkers. He refers to them like I said. I mean, I mentioned earlier, they refer to them as coyotes. And that's just because of the fact that if you speak their name or if you speak of what they are, then that gives them power.
right
So,
now.
so you're not going to have a written. I mean, so yeah, I mean, you're not going to have a record of it in or written or even verbal history in the Native American culture
Right.
because of that.
But a lot of people, especially here in Texas or anywhere in the deep south,
Mhm.
there's so much legend and there's so much, things that a lot of people have not seen before that are starting to come out and, starting to reveal themselves. And, hey, you got a new species going on,
Right?
so with that said, I mean, is it possible that allegedly skinwalker can just be a new species that we've never seen before?
No, no.
Yeah. And we actually have our friend Hero, he had a different experience. Now we can't talk about it because we didn't have that experience. Um but
He's encountered one
he's
actually.
encountered one, and um they had different proof. So, you know, for us, have we direct encountered? Not that we've concluded that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um but it's just like everything else. You have to have an open mind to it. We could argue all day, but like you said, unless you experience, it's just like the Jersey. I know it's just like the Jersey Devil. Like we haven't been in Jersey. We're not going to experience that. We don't know what people are talking about.
Dude, I just had lunch with that guy last week. He's cool, no problem. Hey,
Right?
the only thing is he doesn't like to pay up. He always want me to pay. I'm not doing that no more with him. You know what I'm saying? He needs to, when it's time to go pay for lunch, he needs to freaking pay up. You know, I'm not having that.
Did the Loch Ness monster drive you out?
That guy there himself, man. He
Yeah.
was another one that don't like to pay.
Right.
You know,
But it's all like I said. I mean, there's there has to be something too with like I said with your skinwalkers and your shadow figures as far as the Native American belief system goes, as far as the paranormal, um, because it's been passed down from like you said, or not really ghost stories, but it's been passed down as verbal history from generation to generation to probably the beginning of time with your native cultures.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to have such a strong belief in it, and like Bree mentioned, Hero, he was one of the youngest he was one of the youngest medicine men in the Navajo tribe. He was handpicked by the chief when he was 13 years old, and
Oh wow.
he was trained specifically in how to handle your negative entities, your skinwalkers, your shapeshifters. From a small child, he's now in his early 30s, so he's been doing it for about 20 years, being trained are dealing with those bad energies or bad spirits as far as his tribe goes. So
Wow.
there has to be something there.
Well, I let me be the first one to say, man, if he comes hanging out at my back door or knocking on my door, or I'm out there barbecuing and he jumps the fence and say, "Hey, what's up, fellas? Where's the beer at?" I'm be the first one that's gonna toss him one. You know, hey,
I get you, man.
and that's where the conversation is gonna come in at.
Yeah,
But the problem is when there's an opportunity to have a conversation with one, or when someone sees one, hell, they're running for the hills.
um, from everything we've been informed of, if we or anybody, if we were to come in contact with a coyote, no, not roadrunner coyote, but if we were ever to come in contact with one, then it's not gonna. There's ways to handle it. There's ways to handle it, and you have to. Having the knowledge and the ability to handle it is something completely different. As opposed to saying, you know what, run the other way, leave me alone. You know what, you can't do this, because they are such a powerful spiritual entity that they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Well, I hope they have a beer and talk to me.
Right?
Well, you know what, guys? And I got so much for Native Americans, and it's unbelievable on some of the things that they have accomplished. Like you say, Brian, from generations and generations, you know, they were doing things back then that we can't even comprehend on doing now.
Exactly.
How do you become one with with the woman that's literally have you in the palm of her hands if she chooses to? You know what I'm saying? How do you deal with the woman that is so fierce and so aggressive that hell, if she choose to, hell, she can burn down a damn forest if she wants to and start it all over again. That's what Mother Nature does.
Yeah.
She is one bad woman I don't want to mess with. But
Right.
they have somehow, some way became one with her.
It's respect for nature is what it is, my friend. It's
And
respect.
it's unbelievable.
It's respect, and it's respect, and you're talking thousands upon thousands of years of tradition.
Yes.
Thousands and thousands of years. It's the same thing. All right, it's the same thing. All right, it's the same thing. I mean, look at the Scottish, look at the Druids, look at what they did. It's the same thing. How do you fall? How do you do this? I mean, how do you coexist with nature? How do you use nature? How do you use nature to your advantage? And it's the new generation of electronics now. Oh, you know what? Oh, it might rain tomorrow. There's nothing I can do about it. Or if I do this, then they don't think of people don't think of the consequences of their actions with nature.
Hmm.
Native American cultures, in our experience, have learned to live with it and use it to their advantage.
Yeah,
Let's say
you're
you have
right.
a drought. You have a drought. Okay, you have a drought. Okay, if we have to relocate the tribe because we run out of water or the soil is not fertile, they read the land. It's all
Yeah.
about respecting mother. It's all, and that ties into religion. It ties into spirituality because they believe, our Native Americans believe that Mother Nature is tied into the gods. So that's a whole different ball. A whole different ball of wax.
And
Different
I'm
conversation.
glad you said God instead of God
Yeah.
because I think there's more than one. Bree Harris. I'm gonna pick on you for a minute while Brian he's gonna he's gonna chill for a minute. I'm gonna pick on you. You know, a lot of people are afraid of the unknown. Why do you think that is?
Because it's unknown. It's something that they can prove. And I think we live in a society right now where seeing is believing.
Has to be black and white.
It has to be black and white. And I just feel like, I think it's just a natural way of reaction. You hear something at night. Sometimes, oh, that's just this. But if it's something new, you're like, what is that?
Mhm.
It's just, we fear the unknown because we can't explain it. We don't know what it is. And I feel that's what a lot of people's fears are. I mean, like I said, growing up, I had abilities. There were things I was seeing and I didn't understand. And yes, it scared me because I didn't understand what it was. Now, as an adult, I can see things. Sometimes it does, like, what is that? And sometimes
Right.
it can scare me. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that's just, if I turn back around, oh, well, that was just the dog running across the bed.
Mm. Now, do you believe that research and studying something you you will be able to figure it out?
You see one across the screen.
No. Okay.
No.
Um, I think I'm not sure. When we go anywhere, we always do our research on where we're going, and we not just what the current place is. What was the land before? What was this before? Um, where we currently live, at one point back in the heyday, it was the Mexican living quarters, and then when the trains became it became part of the depot. It was part of the railways. It was the lumberyard.
Yeah.
So, you sometimes have to do your research and pull layers back. Okay, what was this? What was that? Um, Again, when it comes to the paranormal, there's only so much research you can do. I
Mhm.
think going out, hitting dirt, and trying to understand, you know, and what we try to do a lot is if we find evidence of something, we try to replicate it.
Debunk it.
Or debunk it at the same time just to see, okay, is this something we're capturing or is this something that, and there's times I don't realize I capture something and someone will point it out to me later on. And that happens to us a lot.
Okay. Right. Now, how hard is it for you to say that one magic word? How hard is it for you to say, wow, did that just really happen without trying to go back and debunk it? You know what you saw and you know what you hear, but is it in your nature to always try to go back and debunk something and you know darn well you saw that with your two eyes and you're like, wow.
But yeah, like I said, there's some stuff we cannot
Try and replicate it.
try to replicate.
Try and replicate it. It doesn't happen.
But there's some stuff, I know what I've seen in the past. Sometimes there's some stuff that you just have to have the open mind and believe,
Having your name called out on a spirit box by a spirit, then the phrase right after my name was spoken was, "We want him out of here."
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
That
Now,
was it. That was one.
wow.
That was when we did in. That was when we did in the middle of April. I was solo session in a part of the location where we're at. I'm running myself, call and response, and running SLS camera. I'm trying to get responses, and other investigators were in a completely different. They were two doors down in another part of the building. One of them came to me and says, "Hey, this is the response we got. We got this on the spirit box." So they go, "You need to see this." I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" And it was my name. It says, "Brian, we want him out of here."
With the correct spelling.
With the correct spelling. That to me would constitute a wow moment.
Right.
And it was intelligent. They said it was clear as a bell.
Did you leave?
I'd already left the location, or the part of the location where I was running a solo session. And like I said, we'll run solo sessions, but yeah, having your name called, and I mean, my name called, and what was said directly after that, that was a wow moment for me.
Now, is it possible that they could be doing the same thing to us as we do to them?
Probably.
You know, maybe they want us to activate that cat ball, just to see if they can see if we can activate it.
Right? Probably, yeah.
We really don't know. It's one of those. It's one of those Arsenio Hall things. Did this really? But yeah, Bree, I'm gonna stick with you for a while if you don't mind. There is one thing that everybody is afraid of on this planet. Well, I can't say everybody, but at one point in your life, you were afraid of it. Can you tell me what that is?
Oh, I got several. Weird.
Just one.
I absolutely hate heights, and I'm 4'10". I am terrified of heights.
Stop! You're killing me.
That is one thing.
4'10", you're afraid of heights.
So you are afraid of heights, but there's something out there you were afraid of more than anything else. Do you know what that is?
I'm not afraid of strawberries. I just can't eat them. Oh, my biggest fear. Oh my goodness. I think sometimes I think it's just coming from experience, things I've experienced as a young kid. I hated, what is it? It's hard to explain, but I hate complete darkness. I like sleeping in the dark, but when you get that blackout, I can't even see my hands in front of me. Dark.
Perfect.
And dead quiet along with it.
I love that.
There you go. Perfect. That is the one thing that everybody on this planet was afraid of at one point in time. Some of them are still afraid of the dark. But the question that I have for you is, Bree and Brian, you better not answer the question.
I don't say nothing.
Why? Why are y'all so afraid of the dark when it should be what's in the dark that you should be afraid of?
Right? I think for me, it's that sense of, it's a deprivation of your sense. And I think that's more what it is to me. It's so dark, I can't see anything. I'm losing a sense. And I think that's just, for some people, maybe that's what it is. You're losing that one sense that gave you security, maybe some sort of security.
Interesting. To me, when we're inside our parents' womb, in the mother's womb, is it dark there?
I don't remember that.
Well, because I'm thinking it's dark.
Right.
So having that sense of fear of darkness, we should be past that. Even as we grow from babies into toddlers into young adults and so on and so on. But there's always that one fear of the dark. Now, is that something that is it, genetically something that we just happen to be able to man, I can't even explain it. It has to be something that we should have overcome
Right.
before, but it never has. With some individuals on the planet, they are still afraid of the dark, or is there something more? What do you think?
I think it has to do with something more. I think maybe, and like I said, I think it's something that stem either as a child, maybe I experienced something when something was that dark, and that's what that fear stuck. Like I could go outside in our dark and I'll be fine, but if it gets so pitch dark, I can't, like I said, I can't see my own hands in front of my face, and I could be right here.
Hmm.
That it's that area of what's going to happen next.
So we're gonna go back to the eerie of the unknown.
Right.
It was.
There you go.
It's
Yep.
exactly what it was when we went with that one place we were just talking about.
Yep.
Yeah,
So, man, is it hard to say that we are afraid of things that we really don't have no control over?
Oh yeah.
You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? You know, and it's weird because how's that certain individuals in the universe can have that much power and have that much control or whatever we say, we do, we hear, and what we see. Now, would you want to meet a person like that?
Hmm. No. I don't know.
But they can be as gentle as a feather because they know
Yeah.
the ways of the universe. They understand it, they feel it, they sense it, they see it. It's one of those questions that as paranormal investigators, we really have to look at the big picture of the universe and how it's made, why it's made, and why are we here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, religious people, a lot of religious people try to debunk everything I talk about, especially on that aspect when I bring in religion. Certain religions, they would tell you straight up, man, once you die, that's it. All you
Right.
see is what you are afraid of, which is what?
because it's the unknown.
Yep.
Nothing but darkness.
It's
Right.
it's the unknown.
All right. Growing up, when I would talk about things that I was experiencing or seeing, or it was always talked up, oh, that's the devil's work. That's not right. What you're seeing is not your grandmother. That's the devil playing tricks on you. And I think that's just part of what that I think for them it's again that fear of that unknown. You know, we don't know. And at the end of the day, whether it's God's, there's never 100% certainty until we're gone, correct?
Correct.
You know,
Correct. And it's a lot of people have asked me, how would you react, Terry, if you came across an individual that has that much power over your life and can, snap of a finger like Thanos and
right.
can knock you out of existence? And it's just weird how people would take that and say, hey, okay, well, a person like that don't exist. Or a person like that do exist. We call him God. But there's some religions and there's some people in the paranormal field that wants to investigate find out what the truth going on, and but yet they don't believe that there's a God. How is that
Right.
even possible?
Right. It's like, and sometimes that just goes into, like Brian and I are Christians. We believe, and we sometimes find that friend. How can you be Christian and believe in this? How can you be Christian and believe in that? Well, it's because we've had experiences, and now we're furthering more truths and seeking more truth.
Mm,
We can't live like this. You got to
right.
open your mind and just experience it. And I think that some people, they probably have experienced it, and that's why they're just so against it, because they don't understand what they experienced.
Exactly. You know what, guys? It's been an hour and 30 minutes, and I've seen Brian
Yeah,
yawn like 10 times.
I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I have to take the dog out too.
And the dog keeps yawning.
The dog keeps
So,
yelling. Dog's like, I gotta go outside.
hey guys, three more questions,
We're
and
good.
I'm going to get you guys out of here to go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. And any one of you guys can answer this question. I'm through picking Breeze Harris' mind for a minute. Uh, okay, I'm gonna say Brian. Brian,
Right?
you know, let's talk briefly about religion because religion plays a big part on what we do as a paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that paranormal investigating go one in one, or are they separate?
You can use some aspects of religion in what we do. But there's also religion. Religion is also very black and white. So it's very strict based on the belief system of whatever religion we're talking about or whatever religion you're But studying religion and understanding different cultures, different religions have different cultures on how they deal with death. And like I said, you may be able to come up, and speak freely like we do here in the U.S. But in other countries, I mean, you make any mention of death or anything about the paranormal, and it's like, okay, they're going to lock you up in an asylum. So it's it's a sticky, it's a slippery slope. But bringing religion or like say into the paranormal, yeah, I think it's a smart idea, and I think it is something that we can use to our ability. We have a gentleman that we can refer to actually, who is, if we need to in extreme cases, he is a Catholic ordained. He's a Catholic ordained exorcist, and he's also a demonologist that we
Hmm.
can refer to in certain cases. So, all right, then all right, then you have Christianity, you have Catholic, or every religion has some version of heaven or hell, good place, bad place, angels and demons. So, yeah, bringing that into the field, yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay, cool. Great answer. Great answer. Bree, everybody that's a paranormal investigator, we do this for a very specific reason. I often ask people, is you being an investigator and you investigating and you finding out, specific answers to specific questions. But the question I'm asking for you is it much more than that?
So, I don't think, we always say there's not a one right way to investigate, but there are wrong ways. Um, but I think too, having multiple levels, what does he have?
I don't know.
And I think there's more than one answer to everything.
Hmm.
And it's just our job to hone in and figure it out. And that's what we do. We're seeking the truth that's out there. We're seeking the unknown. We're seeking the mysteries, basically.
Mysteries of
There's
the
answers
universe.
out there, you know.
And yeah, but guys, I'm gonna be very honest with you, and I'm very honest with everybody that comes on my podcast show. When I was an investigator well before my wife passed away. She passed away last year, and every day I think about her. I talk to her. I don't know if she's listening or not, but I'm hoping that she is. And so, as me being a paranormal investigator, it's it's something bigger for me.
Right.
I'm am actually preparing myself for when it's my time for me to go. So I want to make sure that I'm able to do the right things, say the right things, understand it. So there will be no obstacles when it's time for me to see that white light.
Right.
So that's why I think me being a paranormal investigator is a little bit deeper than most of the members on my team because I've actually, I'm not looking, but I'm actually preparing myself for the what if, you know, and I ask a lot of people those questions, and a lot of people are different. A lot of people answers are different, and I totally respect their answers. But mine's have a deeper meaning to it than most.
Right.
So yeah, okay. Brian, nope, I'm gonna stick with Bree. Brian's been yawning for like Brian. You need to go get you one of these, buddy. All right, hey Bree.
Yes.
Okay, well I'm gonna put both of y'all into this. Okay, Bree, can I ask you a personal question
Sure.
about Brian?
Okay.
Does Brian sleep hard? Is he a hard
Yeah.
sleeper?
He's a hard sleeper.
Oh, so does he sleep harder when he has something on his mind, or do he stay up and try to solve the problem that's at hand that's on his mind?
Actually, that's the only time he's not a hard sleeper. I noticed
Mm.
if he's thinking about something or excited about something, he has a harder time. He'll fall into a hard sleep, but it's hard for him to stay in that hard sleep.
There you go. Okay, so everything that you're saying is falling into line. All right, so what time Brian usually get up in the mornings?
5:30.
5:30 on a weekend.
Well,
Weekend.
today was 5:30.
No, today was 5:30.
Dude, why are you getting up so early on the weekend?
Used to during work.
Yeah, we
I
get up.
try and sleep in on weekends. I just can't.
Yeah,
Oh
our alarm
man.
goes up at 6:15. Sometimes we're up before that, and sometimes we get to sleep until that time.
Oh
But
man.
we also do have a 16-week-old puppy now,
He
so
says 16 weeks. It is what is it?
he's 4 months old.
It's like you tell everyone, "Oh, baby, 36 months." No, Becky's 3.
Oh wow. Okay, now, so you can tell that when something's on Brian's mind, you can kind of figure it out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, what's the name that you call him when you're a little concerned about what's going on up here?
I just call him Bry.
You don't. Oh my God.
Oh, did I mean?
I mean, most people have names for their significant other, like, "Hey, babe, you all right, babe? Babe, this, babe, that, babe, 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 babe." But you call him Brian. Okay,
Yeah,
I call him
just Brian.
because I'm just direct.
Brian.
we're gonna call him Brian. Okay, Brian came home from work,
Okay.
and you got that sense like something was wrong with Brian, and Brian was like, "Hey, I got this on my mind," and he's not telling you, but you can sense it. Brian's thinking to himself, "Hey, I got something on my mind that I need to get off." Okay, so Brian comes home from work, and in one of those thinking moves. So you notice him thinking and just walking around. So Brian was like, man, Brian's talking to himself. He's like, man, I need to get this off my chest, blah, 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 this and that. So Brian goes to sleep early.
Okay.
Okay. And he sleeps hard, harder than usual. Okay, but you notice like, well, something's going on with him, but I'm gonna let him sleep. Maybe we can figure this out tomorrow. So tomorrow comes, Brian goes through his routine, but you still see that unnervousness in him, and Brian just walk. Have you ever? Man, it's weird how something's on your mind and you just walking around and you doing things and you're trying to figure out how to get this off your mind. So Brown got up to try to go through his routine. He sat down on the toilet, took his poop and whatever he did for the next, to get ready for work, took a shower, but it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday. So, Brian wasn't trying to get ready for work. He just got up unusually early.
Mm-hmm.
But Brian was like, babe, or does he call you babe or does he call you babe? He called you babe. I got to go to Home Depot. So Brian heads off to Home Depot, comes back. Now, do you guys don't have basements over there, do y'all?
We don't here, no.
Okay, so you got a garage.
No.
Okay, well, you do now. So Brian, are you a tour guy, Brian?
No, not really.
Well, you are now. So Brian goes, okay, so Brian goes to the garage and just like any other handyman, you got all your tools up there, and you for some reason, you went to Lowe's and you bought a light switch. Don't know why you bought it. He's like, man, I just bought this light switch and I don't even know why I bought it. So Brian goes into the garage and you follow him and he was like, just start beating on stuff, tick, 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 tack, tack, hammer here, screwdriver there, saw here. And so it got late into the day. You go and cook spaghetti. Do you like spaghetti?
I love spaghetti.
Okay, perfect. You went and cooked spaghetti. Are you on top of the oven type of spaghetti person, or are you in the oven?
Oh, on top. On top
man.
of the oven.
You've never had in the oven spaghetti?
No.
Oh, you got to try that, my friend. A game changer, I'm telling you. So, Brian spends all day in the garage. He comes out and he's like, hey, I built this and my mind feels at ease. So whatever made me build this, whoever made me build this, it just took it all away. It's like you got that burden off your chest.
Right.
And, so Brian grabs it and goes back in the garage and you follow him and, it's sitting on the pool table. Brian got a pool table. I'm about to go play some pool with him. And he's like, oh man, I don't know what this is. But Bree, you're like, let's hit the switch, see what this thing is about. So you go over there, you hit that switch, you turn that switch on, and what little hair Brian has on his head stood straight up. I mean, the hair on your arm stood up. So whatever he triggered, whatever he turned on, it sent out some kind of like electric pulse.
Okay.
Okay, and y'all look at each other and it's like, what the hell? And it shoots a beam right through the garage door, but it doesn't go through the garage door. It shoots it right at the garage door, and it kind of expands a little bit so where you can see into it, and they're like perfect little round circle. And you guys are, man, what is this? So Brian actually created a teleportation device that can jump into the next, uh, into the next phase of life. So Brian was looking around. He see a Starbucks over there, Macy's over here, Jack in the Box. All everything that looks like we have, they have. But somebody caught Brian's eye, and they're waving at Brian. Y'all both look at each other. Do I know this person? And Brian's like, no, I never met that person a day in my life. So the woman's like, hi, Brian, how you doing? So whoever she is knows Brian. And so she walks up, jumps right into jumps right through the garage door, comes up, give Brian a big old fat hug and a kiss on the cheek. It's like, hey, son, how you doing? It's been a long time. We need to talk. And Brian is looking, is like, man, I don't know this person. And he's like, well, I'm going to leave you two in here so you guys can talk. You kind of had that sense on who it was, so you go back and you attend to the spaghetti that's in the oven.
We're
and, and Brian sits down, and the lady puts her bags down, and y'all start talking. In the meantime, Brian, you're trying to figure out who this is. And believe it or not, brother, it's your great, 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 great grandmother.
Ooh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, Brian, hey, man, we've been watching you. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy life. And when it's time for you to join us, we will come get you. But in the meantime, just stay out of trouble. So, y'all talk for a good hour or so. And she's like, oh, I got to get these groceries home and cook dinner for grandpa. So she gives you a kiss on the cheek and tells you thank you for the conversation, and jumps back in, looks at you and waves goodbye and walks off. Now you reaches over, Brian, and shut that device off, and you just thought of, man, I just talked to my great, 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 great grandmother. How is that even possible? She didn't know me. I wasn't even born when she was around. So how can this person knows me? Well, you know what? Spirits have a tendency to know things that we don't, especially family members.
Oh, yeah. I believe that.
Saying? So having somebody that far back, you think they don't know you now? As long as you got that DNA and that blood in you, they know who you are.
All right, exactly.
And they're watching you. So the question that I have for you, Brian and Bree, since you guys kind of, experienced this together, this little box that you created, what would you do with it?
Would you?
I wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
I'd leave it.
I think
you would.
I'd leave it.
You would leave it?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you leave it?
It's all about it's all about the unknown.
It's all about the unknown.
Some things that you learn and some things that you know. Like if someone told me you're gonna die on this day at this time, so enjoy life now. Do you really want to know that?
Sure.
I don't think I think I would live life different than what I would be doing.
Okay,
would I enjoy it or would I be living in fear?
Okay.
It would something like that would change your perspective on things.
Yes.
Exactly. So couple questions here. Now, with you knowing what you're knowing and what you saw, and you're paranormal investigators, would you continue being paranormal investigators,
Yeah.
knowing what you know about the other side?
Yep.
Yes.
So you will continue investigating.
Yep.
Okay.
We got to keep. We have to keep their stories alive somehow.
Okay. Now, would you share this device with the world, or would you? How would you handle this?
No, because well, go ahead on that one.
For me, I would keep it to myself only for the fact if you have a device in the wrong hands, and that's just like anything,
That's very purposes.
right? It
Very.
can always be used as a disadvantage, or it can be weaponized in a different way.
Okay. Now, since Brian developed this and constructed this, there's a little secret that he doesn't know. There's one way in, there's no way out. So they can jump in, but you can't jump over there. Brian, can you tell Bree why that is so?
You got me on that one.
Why is that spirits can jump in, but everyday people can't jump into their realm?
If you can jump into where they were or where they are now, it's two different realities.
So what do you have to be to coexist into their world?
Just I just say just be respectful and just acknowledge that they're there.
Mm-mm. In order to, you will have to be deceased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but since you're not able to jump into their realm. Now they can jump into ours all day. They can go back and forth all day long because that's what they're able to do. You know. So Bree, you're telling me that you're going to put this thing on the garage shelf, right? You're not going to share this technology because you think man is not ready for it, correct?
Right. Correct.
So, in your own words, how soon do you think that man would be ready for a device like that?
I don't think the world is ready to know everything. I think that's what keeps us going, evolving. Oops. Sorry, let me turn off my alarm. Yeah, I think there's some things that are best kept as mysteries. You know, we could do this all day long. We can investigate all day long. But just because we hit a little nugget of information or we witnessed something, and let's say we captured it, we could share that with the world. But it doesn't mean every single person who sees it is going to believe it. You're always going to have that one person who's going to mentally say, I'm skeptical about that.
It
doesn't exist.
That's a camera trick, or that's something, or that's this, or that's
Right.
that. And that's something we run into a lot of times too.
Right. I think there has to be a balance.
Okay.
And it's just like we say, you know, there's always good and evil. You have to have both in order to coexist. So having full knowledge of everything, it's a great experience. Would I love to have that experience myself, knowing my ancestors? Yes. But at the same time, I like not knowing certain things. And it's just more of a safety for, I think I would do things different and not live my actual life.
Right. Now, with you, okay, let's play a little game here. If you was to say, hey, all right, Terry, I'm going to go ahead and share this with the world. How do you think the world would react with something like that? Also, how do you think the religion aspect of it, how do you think that would work?
I think if you with certain people, they're gonna see it as a gift and they're gonna take it as the right thing.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It's a blessing and a curse. Yeah, exactly. That's actually what it was.
Blessing and a curse.
Because again, going back to certain religions, they're gonna see that as what may witchcraft. That's the devil's tricks and works, and you know, I think you're always gonna have that pushback no matter what.
Okay, cool. Now, and I can honestly tell you because I've seen it in history before. Whenever somebody brings something out that people don't understand, or a certain country brings something up, a certain country is going to want it. They're going to want that technology. So and as far as the religion aspect of it, knowing that we're able to, and I'm gonna be honest with you, seeing something like this, religion will crumble because they have nothing to have basis on now. Religion would be no more. Without religion, there would be chaos.
Right.
Without religion, I mean, because we see it today. You know what I'm saying? So religion, without religion, there's nothing. So having that thing put on the shelf for till we think that it's time for you to put it out. It could be 50, 100, 250 years from now, if ever, like you say, because man is not ready for such a device. Brian, what you think?
I just say leave. I just leave it. Leave it on the shelf. It wouldn't. It's just even destroying religion. And like I said, you know what? But like it was just. You would definitely change the course of mankind by inventing something like that. And I don't know if I don't know if I would want that responsibility.
Big responsibility.
Yeah.
Having that kind of pressure on you as one individual, I think that it would be the best and the safest thing is to leave it on the shelf until, I'm not going to say mankind, because I'm going to say until people are ready.
Yep.
Because people and mankind are totally two different things.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I think I would put it on the shelf. And if I'm not around, I would need specific instructions for whoever finds it next to do with it. And hopefully they would do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? But great, man. To some people, that's a tough question. But hey, appreciate you guys being truthful.
Y'all good, Terry. Y'all good, man.
This is great.
Also, this one here is going to be a doozy. It's really hard, and I'm hoping that you guys can answer the question for me. And I'm going to start with Bree. Ms. Harris, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Where would you like to go investigate on your bucket list? Anywhere in the world.
Brian knows this.
I know.
And he's laughing at me.
I know exactly where you want to go.
So I told him, and I go, my number one
Just tell him.
is to go to, I know it's going to sound crazy, Disneyland. And that's just because there's so much joy. And
There's a dark side to it, though.
And there's a dark side to it. But I think what Walt built, and I do believe his presence is there. All he wanted to do was make people happy.
Right.
And as silly as it sounds, like I love watching documentaries, and I've been watching how Walt built America or something like that. Just how his mind was so creative and how he created this world, and that's just for me. And going to Disneyland was my getaways, and I got to be a kid. I had to grow up a little fast in my life, so that was me. Even the last time I went was in my 30s. I get to be that kid again. I get that excitement. There's always something new. There's always something new to discover. So yeah, that's why it's on my bucket list.
Okay, okay. You are the first one that ever said that. Most people, yeah, you are the first because most people want to go to Europe, some of these weird locations that you're gonna
Right.
pay an arm and a leg to get into that are here in the States, but most of them want to go to Europe.
Right.
Scotland, Ireland, uh, go visit it for some weird reason. Dracula's castle. You know,
Right.
man, that guy hung out last month. Man, he was cool. He
Yeah.
tried to bite me, but I ain't put a stop to that, man. Hey, you don't want to know this drunken blood in you. Hell, if I'm drinking, you're gonna be drink. You're gonna be drunk if you drink my blood. So,
That's where the spaghetti comes in. There's the garlic.
right? But yeah, all right, Brian, where would you like to go, brother?
Mm. South America, Mayan pyramids.
Ooh.
The who's pyramids?
Mayans.
No,
No, well, still Mayans built them too.
oh,
Mayan pyramids.
So you want to go to Egypt, basically?
No, it's South America.
Oh, South America. I thought you said South. I thought you said Africa.
I've been to Egypt, so Egypt ain't nothing nice.
Well, you're right. Technically, whoever built those pyramids built the same pyramids in Egypt.
Yep.
So okay, I understand. That's cool. Why that particular place?
I've always been intrigued by the culture.
And I think it's what Comic-Con, Kukulkan. I can't exactly pronounce the name, but I kind of see it in my head on how to pronounce on what the words spell like. But hell, I just can't pronounce it. But you know what? So hey guys, tell the world how to get a hold of you guys if they want to reach out to you guys, come hang out, all that stuff.
Hit us up. Hit us up on Facebook. Check out the page. Follow us on Instagram. And if you want to kind of take a look at some of our investigation videos, what we've how we, like you said, I mean, how we don't really cookie cutter investigate, and the approach that we take when we go to locations. Any of the check out any of the evidence that we got on our videos and stuff like that. Hit us up on YouTube. We are Goose Flats Paranormal out of Tombstone, Arizona. You'll see our logo. It's kind of a cool looking skeleton cowboy. Can't miss it. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We don't do TikTok. Like I said, I'm a little too old for that, and that's just that's not the demographic of the people that tend to follow the paranormal stuff like that. And I want to say, Terry, thanks for having us, brother. It's been a blast.
Yes, sir, man. Love to have you guys on, man. We talked for 2 hours, and it seems like not even an hour, man. That's how. Yeah, that's how you got good conversation. You got good people on the podcast.
Yeah.
You're asking positive questions and you're getting positive responses. That's the way it should be, man.
Right, I hear you. Thank you.
That's the way. Even though I love a good debate every now and then. I mean, I can debate you all day. We can talk about this. For a minute there, I thought that whole skinwalker thing, it started to go right on that. I like, oh, let me slow down.
And that's really cool.
So I read, huh?
discussion.
It's a discussion, not a debate.
Well, we can discuss it. I'll let you have that one.
I get you that, brother. I get you that, man. Thank you.
But it has been a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. I will be calling you guys in 2 months to check up on you.
Right on, we're here for you.
Yeah, see how you guys are doing.
Anybody, I mean, y'all, if anyone who wants to reach out to us, man, give us a holler. I mean, give us a holler, stuff like that. And for any streamers, I mean, anybody listening to the stream, like I said, just a quick word of advice from someone who's been doing this for a minute. Don't go out there and don't get yourself into a situation where you could possibly or probably have physical harm to you by a spirit that's not going to take too lightly to you, either provoking it or trying to piss it off. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to very close friends of mine. I've seen it happen to people. We just don't want anybody to get hurt. So we're not telling you not to get into the industry, because it's actually really cool. Once you kind of know what you're doing, you meet some really cool people, get to go to some really cool places. But just look out for yourselves, man. Just don't get hurt.
Hey, yeah. I tell people that all the time, and it gets very expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can easily get into the thousands without you even thinking about it.
Right.
You think you're going to buy this rent pond, next thing you know, your rent's not getting paid. So you really got to be careful on what you do. All right, guys. Well, what the time is it? It's 8:13 over there?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Hey, go enjoy the rest of your evening.
Brother, thank you, Terry.
Yes. Bree, a good TV show to watch. If you haven't seen it, go watch Interview with the Vampire. If you guys have you watched that show yet?
I think pieces of it.
Season 1 was great, but season 2 is even better. And the book was written by Anne Rice. So, but they're actually going by the book instead of the movie, which had those guys in it. I forgot their name. They're like old actors right now. But
okay.
Yeah, go check out that TV show. Oh, but anyway,
I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I think it had what was his name?
Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise.
Who?
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
There you go. Them two knuckleheads.
I don't know why I know this. I don't remember this, but Kirsten Dunst played the little girl.
Yeah, she got so mad because they cut her curls off and they kept growing back. Well, that's what happens when the undead stuff seems to happen to grow back. But anyway, guys, go enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. Brian, happy Father's Day to you
thanks,
again. And hey, see you guys in a month or two.
All right, man. We'll be around, Terry.
Yes, sir. Hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV. In the Lion's Den with another great conversation. Goose Flats Paranormal. If you guys want to get a hold of them, hey man, I'm looking at their Facebook page. If there's no way that you guys shouldn't be able to get a hold of him, because he has his number right there, and that's what I use to get a hold of these guys. So hey, if you really need something going on over there in Arizona, you lost your fish or your cat got lost or something, call these guys and they'll help you out.
All right, bro.
In the meantime, peace. Take it easy, brother.
All right, man.